Welcome, ladies and gents. Welcome to another live stream, ladies and gents. We have got some, as usual with these live streams, some very, very interesting price action to cover. Cheers to those of you that are joining me live in this stream. It is midnight here in Dubai, and we are looking at the beginning of a beautiful Bitcoin breakout. So that's super cool. I'm going to be covering this with you in this live stream. So as you're coming in today, ladies and gents, do me a favor and let me know how the audio is, how the video is, and all that good stuff. I think I'm actually gonna roll like this for this live stream. I think we're gonna do this without the without all that extra shitty light. Big ass cucumber on the chart. What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome to another live stream here. Thank you all for tuning in. Bitcoin hitting 70k right now. Choosing rich over choosing poor. There we go, mate. There we go. What have we got in the live chat today? Welcome to everybody tuning in today. We're going to be covering a lot of this interesting price action. As you're coming in, do me a favor and smash those likes up, ladies and gents, for a $70,000 Bitcoin. We have just smashed through that $70,000 Bitcoin level right here in the last couple of minutes. Your boy hit live and we smashed through 70,000 subscribers. I don't make the rules, but clearly the rules are being followed today. So there we go. Welcome to the live stream, ladies and gents. This is a big day of price action, and I am here with you all to cover it in this live stream. Let's see who's here. Once again, as you are coming in, do me a favor and smash those likes up for this amazing live stream. Some of you guys noticed I was walking on a treadmill in my last video. I'm doing it again. If that's a problem, you know where the back button is. You can close this tab. You can minimize YouTube. That's not my business, but I'm getting my steps in. and yeah, this is after seeing Jason Casper doing it. So shout out to Jason Casper. Dude's got his shit together. And one of my friends put me on to one of his streams, and I was like, shit, I want to get my steps in when I'm doing live streams. I would do way more live streams if I could get my steps in at the same time. So here we are. You guys get more live streams. I get more steps. I get to earn more Shackmeisters from Shake Shack. There we go. Let's see what we got here in the live chat. How are we all doing today? Lotion time, boys, from Joshua. Joshua's getting the lotion out, ladies and gents. There we go. It is time. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's get those likes pumped up one more time before we start this analysis off. We are just above $70,000. Damn right, haters be crazy, dude. People were upset I'm fucking walking. Like, you guys have got to get a grip. Like, the camera's gonna shake a little bit, right? And so I've got to be conscious of that. Like, right now it's not shaking too much, but if I put my hand on the table, it will shake. You guys don't care about that. This will be fixed soon. But this is good as it is, and we are on the 1 minute time frame, looking at a $70,000 Bitcoin with a very small retracement now. We have managed to move up to 70,400, and we are correcting back down toward that 70k flat level. We were well aware of this move taking place from the last YouTube video, ladies and gents. Shout out to those of you that are subscribed to this YouTube channel, that haven't missed the content that we've been putting out, that have been kind of keeping up to date with all of this stuff. We've seen this coming for some time. I obviously before was quite bearish, but I switched my bias when the facts changed, and that has definitely paid off. Of course, I'm still in my long position. Don't think I forgot. I know you guys didn't forget, and I certainly can't forget. But here we are. This is now back up at a 2,200% profit. There we go. I'm trying to keep that very steady. That's hard to do while walking. And my Tron position also back up at a 580. Oh my god, that is so hard while walking. I'm not going to try to do that. Sammy walks the price up. Keep going. There you go. There you go. So still in those long positions, ladies and gents. You can get access to $30,000 for free when you start trading on Bybit using my link below. BingX, a phenomenal no KYC option. 2bit, a phenomenal even lesser KYC option. All available with the links in the description. You're getting over $170,000 in rewards with the links below, so check them all out. Let's get into the analysis here. We managed to pump up above our key zone of resistance, and just like last time, right, when you start entering zones of lower liquidity, especially up here where it's much more obvious, you are going to rip up pretty quickly. And what we've done here is not only have we ripped up pretty quickly, but the first time where we've actually started to encounter some sort of problem in this market is precisely at the value area high from the same fixed range volume profile. And I have to say, ladies and gents, this is my second time ever recording something while walking. Walking really does amp your energy up for a live stream, right? And I've already got pretty good energy when I'm live streaming usually. I just love live streaming. I love getting behind the microphone and talking shit with you guys. This makes it feel different. Walking makes it feel different, but we'll get to all that in a bit. We are starting to find resistance precisely at that value area high, which is absolutely fantastic. That's another strong sign that this market is continuing to behave the way we would expect. This is, of course, the next spike on the VPVR. Look at how much ease we had when we got past this spike to get up to the next spike. Bitcoin moved up with ease, ladies and gents. It was absolutely beautiful the way Bitcoin was able to continue climbing up and how quickly it was able to do so right after getting above this zone on the VPVR here. Again, exactly as expected. I had it drawn out on this chart. Actually, here's another chart where I had it drawn out. Let's remove this fib now because we didn't actually get the pullback. And as soon as we get above this level, we are flying, and that cannot take us by surprise. That's exactly what we expected from earlier on with these videos, with these live streams. We've got Ethereum popping off right here in the mid 3400s. We've got Ethereum against Bitcoin spiking up to 0.49 BTC. Is it the recovery of Ethereum? Are we finally back in alt season? Bitcoin's dominance has retraced by a whole 0.5%. Is this the beginning of alt season, or is this just going to be another instance of altcoins pumping a little bit, Ethereum catching up? Ethereum's been performing absolutely horribly compared to Bitcoin for a while. Is this another step forward after 5 steps backwards? And are we about to take another 5 steps backwards for these altcoins? You guys already know which side of the aisle I'm on. I'll tell you guys a little bit more about it as we continue on in this live stream. If you are enjoying the stream so far, if you're excited for this one, if you're happy that I'm live today, ladies and gents, after that beautiful video, this is my 4th recording session of today. 4th recording session today, ladies and gents. If you appreciate that, do me a favor and pump those likes up. We need to get this to a minimum of 250. I don't have long to stream with you guys today. I'm only going to be here with you for about another hour, max, probably less. So let's make it count. Let's make this a big one. I want to be here for longer, and I'll be back. But for now, this is where we're going to have to cap it. So if you are excited for this one, let's pump them up. And let's keep talking about this Bitcoin price, because we're finding a little bit of resistance exactly where we would expect to right now, which is absolutely great. And this is a very, very good sign that the market is continuing to behave in super healthy ways. What I want to see from here is potentially either to capture a bit of resistance and then come back down. You guys know the drill if you've been watching this channel for a while. If you manage to get up to a resistance zone and you produce a rejection quickly, it's probably going to be a severe rejection. In the same way, if you produce a support bounce quickly, it's probably going to be a severe bounce, a strong bounce. However, if it takes a little bit more time, right, and you can see this here if we really zoom in, if that support bounce takes a bit more time than less than 1 hour, because here it was indeed less than 1 hour until we started to bounce up, here it took a bit more time, the longer it takes, the weaker that bounce is going to be, right? And you can measure this. 18 hours later, we're up by 14%. On this occasion here, 18 hours later, we're up by 12%, right? So it is getting a bit weaker here. When you produce these moves quicker, they're going to be stronger. When you produce them slower, they're going to be a bit more shallow, right? And we've seen that off this level as well. These are big comparisons I was making for you guys. 18 hours later here, roughly, you're up by 7%. It does get slower, and it does get less intense. And so if we are able to produce a correction now, we're probably going to see it come down a little bit steeper. We obviously, another way for you to visualize this, in case that didn't make sense, is our beautiful EMAs, right? These are a phenomenal example of lagging indicators. More Ethereum show. Yes, sir, we will be going through Ethereum. I'm going to continue to be looking at the price charts of different coins with you guys here on this live stream. If you've got questions, requests, if you just want to tell me that I look handsome today, you can do that in the live chat down below. Definitely do that. I have your live chat right here, so I'm able to see everything you guys are saying. I could put it here. I actually thought about it, but I prefer it off screen. And you know, the EMAs are a beautiful way to visualize this because they are curving up, right? But you know, typically the price is going to be magnetic to them, and so when you start to see you know, that the price comes down, you know, it's going to have a much steeper drop versus if the price kind of matures up here, you know, you're going to start to see the EMA stabilize like this, so that drop becomes a lot less steep. Basically, it has to travel a much bigger distance to get to its support when the price action is not mature, okay? And immature price action means price action which hasn't had a chance to consolidate yet. So that's something I'm going to be continuing to look at. Ladies and gents, if this walking really is disruptive for a lot of you, I will stop. But high value real G is walk and smoke shisha while streaming. I was thinking about it. What would be more Sammy than walking on a stream? It would be having a shisha pipe as well, because I'm all about that hedging lifestyle. But unfortunately, there's no shisha pipe right now. So yeah, we'll see. You know, I mean, if the walking becomes an inconvenience, I'll stop. But I think most people don't care, and I want to. So I'm gonna keep it here. Keep it for the health. Absolutely, ladies and gents. You gotta hit your 10K steps a day. You got a bank balance every single day, and you gotta run it up to 10K with your steps. And it doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It's all about today. Let's continue to smash those likes up for the steps, ladies and gents, if you like that. And so yeah, this EMA action definitely showing us that support is further away right now. There's a lot of different things that you could use, but basically any indicator that lags at all will show you the exact same thing, right? Right now, if we drop, support is very low. If we drop later on, support gets a little bit higher. So it's the same thing. Now, in terms of where that support is, this is pretty obvious. We've already gotten a taste of it with the analysis I've just been sharing with you on the 4-hour EMA ribbon. We have phenomenal support now in the $67,000 price range, which is fantastic. We've also got phenomenal Ichimoku support in the exact same price range, only in about 4 days from now, 5 days from now. So that is, again, absolutely fantastic. That is exactly what we want to be seeing at this stage in the market, because we've got confluence from different indicators lining up with the exact same price range. And of course, it's the point of control, right? I had just been showing you the fixed range volume profile. I'm going to pull that up again for you guys who, oh shit, what have I done? Who missed it. And, you know, if we drag this out, this big spike right here, this is actually slightly different on this chart, interestingly, but this big spike here represents the fixed range volume profile, point of control, and this very clearly showing us that this is where a lot of volume comes in for the market. So naturally, that's where you would expect a potential support zone to be. This is also quite obvious just to eyeball. This yellow line that I've had drawn here, clearly representing for quite some time where important turning points have been for the market, where important consolidation points have been for the market. And I think it's been most clear recently, which is even better, over the last 35 days, where we have continued to find more and more resistance up in this price range, which is fantastic. Ladies and gents, it is hot right now. I'm just going to go get that AC. Yeah, it is getting hot in Dubai these days. So I just had to grab that AC there. But, you know, we have really validated this resistance zone quite well, you know, in this market, I think, which has been absolutely fantastic. And so what better, you know, than a previously strongly respected level, you know, to serve as support if the market pulls back. So that's basically the downside. Once we convincingly punch in a high, I'll be able to start talking to you guys about where I think, you know, a Fibonacci can be drawn from. And for me, that's the much more interesting discussion about finding a potential bounce zone, because Fibonacci's are an incredibly reliable tool. The problem is, and I can do it right now with you guys, you know, for fun, as a fun thought experiment, but it's not clear if we've topped out yet. And if we haven't topped out yet, then, you know, throwing a Fibonacci on this chart is kind of just pointless. It's fun, but it's pointless. I'll do it with you guys anyway, you know, just because I'm curious. But it's really not something that I would put any weight on until we see some, you know, real signs that there has been a top, right? And how do you know if there's a top? Well, simply, you know, we would trade sideways for a bit, then we know that this zone here was the top, or we would come down by some more, right? And either of those two things happening would show you that you have set a temporary top. For now, assuming this was the top, and you know, hard to say that, so I'm not going to say that that's what it is. Our 618 golden pocket lines up with that beautiful mid $61,000 price range. Our 382 level lines up beautifully with these candle opens and closes on the 4-hour. And I think, yeah, they look okay. I think we're going to get a better fib level later, but they look good for now. Some people in the live chat talking about a little dump. Let's zoom in on that. Just take a look at how big this dump actually is. It is down by 1.2%, $850. Recovering a little bit of it right now. We managed to get above that $70,000 price range, and we are now just $225 below it again. No big deal. These are obviously just fluctuations. The last thing that you should do, and the reason that well, you shouldn't do anything that I tell you to do because I'm not a financial advisor, but the last thing I would urge anybody to do is to sit there on the 1-minute time frame and babysit this chart and lose your mind over every $100 swing. This fucking asset is worth $69,000, so a $100 move is really not that big of a deal. A $600 move is still not that big of a deal. That's like what, 1%, right? I'm pretty bad at math, but that's about 1%. So, you know, it's really no big deal at all. Smash up the likes as you're coming in, ladies and gents. We got 600 viewers, like I said. I don't have too long on this stream. I got about 40 minutes left with you guys, but I will be going through your questions and continuing to give you guys the scoop with my analysis, tell you guys about which kind of questions I'm looking at as well. I'm sorry, which kind of chart setups, trade setups I'm looking at as well. So that is super, super cool. Thank you all for smashing up those likes. Closing in on that 250 target. Let's go smash up to there. And yeah, if we do zoom in and take a look back at this chart in terms of where that potential support is, like I said, 67K, absolutely huge. Now, the reason I'm talking about that is because the upside, there's a lot less analysis I can do on it, right? Like for the upside, the resistance zone is where we are right now. We established that with the volume profile tool, which I think I've removed now, but let me just draw it back on this chart. Because this is a very clean chart, right? So we've got the point of control here. Rightfully, we found a lot of resistance along this line. That makes a lot of sense. And we got the value area high up here at $70,000. So, you know, this is kind of our next zone of resistance. And the thing is that if there is no pullback and we just blast straight through it, then, you know, there is another kind of zone that you could say with this. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this small spike up here, you know, this is going to be another zone for potential support for the market. I'll just draw that out for you guys with that box. You know, and so that would be the next kind of zone that I'd be looking at. Again, you know, none of these areas, and I can't stress this enough, this is actually probably the most important thing I'll tell you guys in this stream, especially as far as resistance up ahead goes, is that none of these areas to me are going to be particularly important for the market as far as resistance goes, because we have just passed the most important zone of resistance at 67K, right? And if we've just passed the most important zone at 67K, I can't be worried about the other zones of resistance up ahead. This is like, you know, you've beat the boss in the boss fight and now you just got little minions still remaining to fight. You know what I mean? Like, if you won the boss fight, then the little minions are not going to be a problem. And these resistance zones are those little minions. Now, we might have a small problem at the previous all-time high at $74,000. You know, I wouldn't rule that out. That's definitely something which, you know, I'm open to and that I would welcome. But again, you know, that's not the kind of thing I'd be concerned by. You know, I think that you know, that would be light work. You know, maybe Bitcoin sets a double top, you know, whatever. Any kind of, you know, and this is the other thing that we really got to keep in mind at this stage now, and it's always the case, but, you know, I think now a lot of people start to forget it, and that's why I'll be here to remind you guys about it, and that's also why I'll be looking at things like sentiment, just to kind of keep a check on this. But I think a lot of people fail to understand that in any circumstance, especially in an uptrend, the more you correct, the more you pause, the more you pull back, the better it is. The healthier the market is going to be, and the higher you're going to go. Okay, and there's no better proof of that than this chart on the daily time frame, where we take a look at the bottom that the price set down here at $15,000. You know, and this was an incredibly harsh price-based correction where the price tumbled down and just absolutely slashed all of our dreams. And then even after we were trending up, we were sideways for 7 months in this absolutely shit box. This was like Schrodinger's box of sadness, but there's no option of happiness. It's just sadness. That's basically what we had back here. You know, and obviously, even though that was absolutely horrible, I think we can all agree that it actually turned out to be something really good for the market. And I'm actually curious what your thoughts are in the live chat. Lars Larson saying, I remember that. I'm actually curious what you guys think about that. Looking back in hindsight at that 7 month, and this was, by the way, 7 months of shitness, right? If I measure this, you know, that was a range that spanned about 28% and it lasted 227 days. So that's 7 months and a bit, 7.5 months of absolutely shit, gut-wrenching price action where nothing is happening. Now, in hindsight, when we see that from that breakout point to the price that we've set today, roughly at about $70,000, that's 121% move up, to the all-time high is 134%. That's a 2.3 times gain. You put 10K in, you walk away with 23K. Now that we've got the gift of hindsight, let me know in the live chat, ladies and gents. Barnett, just here for the analogy, is absolute legend. Do you think that was worth it? That's what I want to know from you guys in the live chat. Just let me know in the live chat. Do you think that was worth it? A lot of questions, probably people tuning in a little bit late. Yes, I am walking on a treadmill. No, I don't care. I got the idea from Jason Casper. So again, I gave him a shout out at the beginning. Now that we got some more viewers in here publicly, I love giving credit to people where I can. Jason Casper is an absolute legend. And I was like, well, you know, I love live streaming and I love walking. And just like I love having nice cars, why not combine them? Why not have more? That's absolutely... Well, Casper also raps and sings, but I don't rap or sing yet. So I'm not going to be giving you guys that. But Lars Larson, Morningstar, Med, DG, Juan, all of you guys agreeing that yes, this horrible price action that we had for 7 months in this price range was worth it, right? And so I really want to see, you know, nice continuation here in terms of continuing to get those kind of corrections, because that would definitely show me that we've got a path paved ahead of us for some really nice upward moves. So I really, really like that. Got an interesting question here. Just 1 second. So, Sammy, what is my opinion behind the pump? You know, I'm gonna go into that with you guys in just a minute. Actually, I think that the main reason we're seeing this pump is not necessarily even anything Bitcoin related, and I really strongly feel this at this stage. I'll expand on it a little bit in this live stream if you guys want to know about it. I think the main reason Bitcoin is pumping up right now is because traditional finance is happy. I really think that's the case. And the reason I'm saying that is because Bitcoin has been down in the gutter for a little bit now. It could be interest rates, like you're saying, Lars Larson, but again, that's more of a traditional finance thing. So you're kind of agreeing with me there. You know, traditional finance has been strong for some time, and Bitcoin has really lagged behind to pick itself back up. You know, the S&P 500 set all-time highs while Bitcoin was still down in the low 60s. You know, and to me, that says absolutely everything. You know, that says absolutely everything about, you know, what has happened with Bitcoin here. You know, Ethereum ETF news, you know, you guys are talking about that in this live stream, the live chat. Completely get you guys. You know, ETF approval went from 15 to 75%. That's why, you know, look, there are always going to be narratives like this, but ultimately, you know, one thing that's worth noting is that, you know, these ETF narratives have existed when the markets were bearish and they didn't produce pumps. Okay? They've only produced pumps in an environment where traditional finance is happy. And that's what we're seeing here. We're actually, I think we've just seen the S&P 500 close here just now. Let's take a look. Yeah, literally just closed very, very recently. But we did end up closing above the all-time high again, continuing to consolidate for like the third day in a row at this all-time high level for the S&P 500. You know, and the S&P 500 has been rallying up pretty nicely since basically the middle of April, 19th of April. And if we bring it back to Bitcoin, Bitcoin was trending down this whole time. Bitcoin only started to move up with confidence in the middle of May. All right, and that was what, like 6 days ago in my time zone, 5 days ago. If you're anything, even if you're Iran, if you're 30 minutes behind Dubai, because I think Iran is 30 minutes behind Dubai. In most time zones in the world, basically, you know, it was only 5 days ago that we really started to move up, and so it was really late. And I think Bitcoin was basically just looking for the validation of the S&P 500. Look at that, guys. The S&P 500 literally set a brand new all-time high, and it was only on that day that Bitcoin actually started to move up. You know, to me, that really tells you everything you need to know about what's behind this move. You can scream from the rooftops about every bullish narrative you can think of, and you know, I can understand why you might say all of them. But ultimately, what I think we're truly looking at here is yeah, it was just a happy macro traditional finance environment, and that was finally what allowed people to start being willing to take risk on in this risky market. There we go. So let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin breaking out. If Bitcoin does get that beautiful breakout, like I said, I only see that next kind of zone of resistance being, you know, there's several, but they're all kind of just above 70K. They're not really even worth talking about. I think they're going to be quite light. If we do manage to get the breakout, we've got some really interesting price targets. I've covered them with you before. For example, 76K or 84 or whatever. One of the things that I think is really good and really, really exciting, and I covered this in the last video. So again, I want to give a huge shout out to those of you that are subscribed to this YouTube channel, because you wouldn't have missed that. You would know exactly what I'm talking about, and that was, you know, very important analysis as far as I'm concerned. Definitely make sure you are subscribed if you're not already. Make sure you're smashing up the like button if you haven't done so already. We're only 40 likes away from getting up to 250 likes. What I covered with you guys was this spectacular weekly chart, and I broke it down for you in a very useful way, which I want to do for you again in this live stream. I know that some of you have probably seen it, but some of you may want to see it again. Let me know in the live chat, do you want me to cover it again? If you don't, I'll stop. But one of the things I really like to do is analyze these weekly candles when they come in. And obviously today we are blessed with a new weekly candle. And I think that this is a big deal. This one weekly candle here engulfed 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of price action before. We've got some requests for Ethereum. I will get there. I promise. I will get there. But we had 4 weeks of bearish price action inside of a downtrend. And this one weekly candle erased all of it. In 1 week, we erased a month of bearish price action. And the last time that this happened in a similar circumstance was back here. Again, we were in a downtrend. We had 3 weeks of continued bearish price action here. And if we drop a couple lines, look at that. We're in an existing downtrend, and in 1 week, we wipe out 3 weeks of bearish price action. Big weekly candle there, ladies and gents. Let me give you another one. Again, in a similar situation, we're in a downtrend. Got an existing downtrend, yep. This is from the previous all-time high that we set at $64,000. 66, what was this? Yeah, it was 64. 65, my bad. And then on this 1 week of trading, bam, bam, right? We've got these two beautiful levels, and we've got 3 candles opening and closing fully within this one candle here, showing us that this one weekly candle eclipses 3 weeks of bearish price action, and it happens at the end of a downtrend. So very similar circumstances in that way. There are many more examples you can find. There are some examples where it doesn't go well, like right here. Right here, we engulf 2 weeks of price action, also inside of a downtrend, and it doesn't materialize. You only get a very short-term move up. So, you know, maybe that move up was enough to make money. It certainly would be for some people. Certainly, if you're moving your stop loss up to break even, these kind of things won't be scary for you. But at the same time, yeah, not as successful as we want to see. But if we start pulling something like that off right now, I've already covered with you what some of these gains have been. You know, from this open to the high that we set, that's 186% move to the upside. If we start to really get that lotion out from underneath our desk, ladies and gents, I can't even fit this on the chart. 186% to the upside here would put us at $174,000. And before that, over here, from this open to the all-time high, that was 120% up. So if we do the same thing again, 120% up from here does put us at, where are we? Again, can't fit this on the chart. That puts us at 135K. So there you go, ladies and gents. You know, if we're gonna do something similar now, we've got some very interesting speculative price targets. Do I realistically think any of them are gonna happen? Not necessarily. I don't think it's not that I don't think they're gonna happen because I'm bearish. It's just that I don't engage in rituals like this. You know, I just don't care about, you know, thought experiments like this. They're not very productive. They're fun, but like either way, I've been all in on Bitcoin since $3,000. That ain't changing at 70. That ain't changing at 130. You know, so it really doesn't matter to me where. Do I think that the bull market is officially restarted? No, sir. I don't think the bull market ever ended. I don't think the bull market ever ended. So no, I don't think it's restarted. What else have we got? Med saying we're so back. Is gold selling okay now? Should I exit gold? I'm not telling you what to do, dude. Come on, man. Come on, I'm not telling you what to do. What else have we got here in the live chat? Seems that it is TradFi, yeah, although I haven't watched the speeches today yet. It started shooting up at the time they were happening. Dude, yeah, that's exactly it. That is exactly it. I also think the bulls ended. Someone here thinks the bull market has ended. Do we think the bull market has ended, ladies and gents? Or do we think it's just coming back? Do we think it hasn't even ended? Do we think it hasn't even ended? Advice for the first bull run. Don't look for advice on YouTube. That's number one. And yeah, I mean, just do your thing, learn. And I think, you know, one of the big things I'd say is, you know, especially when you're in a bull market like this is the time where you really should be making a lot of money, right? Like a lot of people who are just joining now, most of you are going to not actually do particularly well. Most of you are not going to do particularly well. You're actually going to maybe lose some money or not make nearly as much as you wanted to. And in these kind of cases, that's okay if it's your first bull market, but you really need to tighten up and learn the things that will plug your gaps in your knowledge, because the next time this happens, and it will probably happen again, it doesn't typically stop, it's just psychology at the end of the day. The next time this happens, you don't want to be in a position where you were lacking knowledge before, and then you're lacking knowledge again. You know, the other thing I'd say is that if there are ways to shortcut your way to learning stuff, if there are ways to shortcut your way to, you know, the financial acumen that you need, or that, you know, the trading skill sets that you need, then now is the time where learning them will really pay off a hell of a lot more than it might, you know, in 2 years, for example, when we might be in a bear market. This is something I've always been a big proponent of. I did this myself, invested in my own education when I first started trading crypto. If you guys want to learn from me, I have launched a very intense 12-week program, which we've seen some pretty good uptake for. It is super intense and not cheap, but if you are serious about yourself, you can contact me here using this link in the description and get more details. I've also got a VIP course and academy type thing that you can get into. You can get more details on all that stuff here. If you don't want to pay me for stuff, there are 2 phenomenal resources here on Amazon, which I swear by, and I love them very, very much. I would actually argue that this book alone is better than any 12-week one-to-one stuff that you can do with me, and it's way cheaper. So this book is way, way more impressive, I think. And aside from these things I've told you about, there's many more that you can just find by going on to Google. But yeah, I think that's huge. In addition to that, you've got a lot of chances to get free money just opening up another tab while watching this live stream. You deposit and start trading using my links below, and you will get free money in your account, which you can continue to trade with. So that is also very useful because it basically helps you, you know, get an extra head start on what you're doing here in these markets. Let's bring it back to Bitcoin here for just a second. We have seen a little pullback for Bitcoin, and over the last 2 minutes, a nice rise up, just moving up by about $500-600 here, which is super, super cool. Ethereum is going crazy. Take a look at this, $3,500. Zoom out onto the 4-hour. I was just talking about this in the last video. Ethereum didn't quite get up to its target. Blowfin gave me a 1K bonus yesterday. Absolutely sick. I might be working with Blowfin soon. I'll let you guys know. They seem like they have an interesting platform. I'm just actually in the process of testing it. I want to make sure it's good, you know, before I start talking about it. But yeah, here we go. I was talking about this in the last video. Shout out to those of you that did watch my previous video. And I was talking about how Ethereum didn't quite meet its target yet, but it has done so now, and so we are ready to remove that line. So close to 250 likes, ladies and gents. If you are enjoying the stream so far, do me a favor and smash them up for this live stream. I got about half an hour left with you guys. I really want to make it count. We have hit a macro area of resistance on this chart for Ethereum. I think this zone of resistance is going to be a bit of a problem for Ethereum potentially. Maybe we just blast through it and pull an Ethereum. Maybe. Maybe not, though. This was definitely an important zone in the market over the years, and especially over here where it triggered a big drop to the downside. It actually triggered a 75% minus $2,700 price move. And I think that is a very, very big deal. So that's the zone we're up against now. Is this going to be where Ethereum stops? I don't know. I certainly don't. I certainly think that it's possible. But I also think that it depends on Bitcoin. We've seen Bitcoin's dominance fall off a cliff in the last day. It took a little while to build up here, a couple of days. We're down in 1 day here, so there's clearly a lot of bullish sentiment. I don't think this is going to stay. Naturally, I think if that Bitcoin breakout comes, these alts are going to be forgotten. They're going to be tossed to the side. I think if a Bitcoin drop comes, these alts are going to be tossed even harder. So, you know, I'm not super keen on what I'm seeing there. Which one will outperform the others between SUI, don't even know what that is, Sol, and Ethereum? I don't know what the coin's called, actually. Can someone tell me? I'm that much of a no-coiner. I'm all in on Bitcoin, ladies and gents. Don't care about these altcoins. Yeah, so let's come back here. And like I said, that all-time high zone, definitely very interesting. Basically knocking on the door of it. Chance of a pullback still, you know, pretty high. You know, I wouldn't rule it out. And I think as we continue to see, you know, the fear and greed index get to even crazier places, this is going to update in the next 3 hours. We are going to continue to get a more dangerous environment for these resistance zones, you know, and pullbacks will definitely be welcome with tears and blood from the people who are just rushing in to be bullish in this market. So that is also pretty exciting. Ethereum against Bitcoin here, really making a big stab upwards here. Does this mean I'm bullish on Ethereum? Fuck no, absolutely not. I haven't been bullish on Ethereum for a long time. And the reason I haven't been bullish on Ethereum for a long time is because we bounced off this support level really well over here, and we didn't bounce off it at all over here. You know, which to me was a very clear sign on the macro that this market has become weaker. And now that we're moving down and we're getting these spikes back up, all I'll say is that this is very typical of Ethereum. And I don't like to fall for traps which are typical. Let me show you that right here on this chart, ladies and gents. And I'm going to show it to you with a couple of arrows that I'm going to draw just to really make that point. Because you're not going to like this, but you're going to need to hear it, ladies and gents. You know, Ethereum has been trending down pretty much since this high over here. And in that time, let's take a look at just how many quick spikes it had, followed by drops, which were perhaps a little bit slower. That one's not so quick. All over the place, ladies and gents. Ethereum does this all the time. It forms very quick spikes. They don't materialize into anything. And all you are left with are your tiers and your red P&L numbers with your Bitcoin holdings. So does this one look like a bigger one? Does this one look like a bigger pump for Ethereum against Bitcoin? Yeah, it's maybe one of the bigger ones. Does it look like a typical one? And have they all completely failed? Yeah, absolutely. And is this pump happening into a critical resistance zone against Bitcoin? Yeah. So you tell me, ladies and gents, because I don't know. Maybe 7 years of experience in these markets isn't enough. But for me, when you're forming something like this, which you've already done so many times and has been a disaster for the market every single time, and you're doing it approaching the biggest zone of resistance on the chart, and everybody's mega bullish about it, everybody wants to buy, everybody wants to go long, And we're dialing it up, ladies and gents. And you're going to get me running in this live stream, ladies and gents. You're going to get me turning this up and starting to jog with you all in this live stream. That's how pumped up I'm getting. And we are aware that 90% of people always lose their money, and they lose 90% of it, right? If not much more than 90%. Well, with that combination of factors, we're at macro resistance. We formed the exact same pump that always results in a big sell-off. Everybody in their nan is bullish, right? With that combination of factors, and there's probably more I've missed, is this, and Ethereum's at macro resistance against the dollar as well. Is this actually a chart setup that you want to start getting excited about? That's what I'm asking you guys, right? I've never been here to change your opinions, to sway you either way. I could not care less. I just don't care. Never cared. Probably, most likely, almost certainly, never will. It's not my business. Actually, no, I certainly never will, because it's not my business. But what I've done with you guys since the beginning is I have come on here and identified things that are going on the chart, identified things that are going on with the psychology of the market, and pointed them out to you. You make your own decisions. You might think I'm wrong, and good for you, because I've been wrong before. I'm going to be wrong again. It happens, right? You might think that actually Sammy's got a point, right? And if that's the case, then, you know, maybe this is something which isn't super exciting. Maybe this is actually a chance to exit, or at least take some profits off, because, well, it just screams the typical signs of a market that is about to drop again. I think what would change my stance on this is if Ethereum gets above this macro zone of resistance with conviction. But this is a heavy zone of resistance, and I wouldn't want to put money on that happening anytime soon. This is a zone of resistance that triggered a big pump up for Ethereum, and it kept Ethereum up for a long time here. I just cannot see how we get above this zone of resistance anytime soon. Could it happen? Yes. Do I think it's going to happen? Not right now. What if, when is the Ethereum ETF announcement day? Or in other words, this person might be wondering if there's going to be an ETF rally. You know, that kind of thing could definitely be what sets this off, and I wouldn't rule it out. But again, you know, to me, I don't know when it is. The ETF is approved. It easily gets past that resistance if it's approved. Yeah, sure, maybe that's what happens. You keep your news, and I'll keep my charts. How about that? How about that? You keep your news, and I'll keep my numbers. Because my numbers don't lie, and your news is misleading, mate. Your news is the same thing everybody else picks up in the newspaper every day. There's no edge there. Tons of people have read it and screened it before you saw it. You're not getting an edge. But this chart right here, this is where we all have an equal playing ground, right? This is where we all have an equal ground to analyze. Nobody has an advantage. Nobody has a disadvantage. There is no information for the masses and information for the classes. These charts are all we've got that are objectively complete. Yes, of course, there are different layers to the charts, like volume analysis and so on, and, you know, exo charts and stuff like that, but that's all quite widely accessible. These news things, tell me what's more subject to manipulation than that. You know, I get you, and I think you've got a very strong point if that's what you think, but you are also buying into the exact same narrative that most people who lose money would buy into. And me personally, in these markets, I'm not interested in that. I want to follow in the footsteps of people who actually make money, right? And those are not the people who digest these news articles at the same time as everybody else off Cointelegraph, off the next, you know, major YouTube channel that only covers these big news articles to tell you exactly what you want to hear because it's the most profitable thing for them to do as YouTubers. That's not what you're getting here. On this YouTube channel, you're getting a grounded, realistic approach to the markets from somebody who actually trades for himself. I'm not a marketer first. I'm not someone who is living off my YouTube revenue and stuff like that. I am a trader. And that means I need to make sensible, grounded decisions as a trader first. And that's why I've got this attitude, and that's why you don't see it everywhere else. Because it's not profitable as a YouTuber. It's not good for the business as a YouTuber, ladies and gents. That's what we're bringing here on this YouTube channel. Smash up the likes if you're loving all that for this live stream. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I want to start taking your questions soon here in this live stream. Altcoins like Matic finally starting to move up by a little bit here, but still not by much. Yes, that's why I'm here, Sammy. There you go, mate. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Doge getting some excitement here in the live chat. Not doing anything particularly interesting, though. Pepe up quite nicely. This is cool. Look at that. Flying through resistance. That's very, very cool. Not a whole lot I can say about this chart, to be honest, but you know the drill. If it breaks the all-time high, it could be a nice big rise coming in. Alt season start prediction. That's probably going to be whenever Bitcoin starts really cooling down. That's what I would say. And alt season this time is going to be huge, guys. I think alt season's... We haven't seen an alt season yet. That's all I'm saying. I think this next alt season is going to be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. That's what I think about this next alt season. And the reason I think so is because the market has gotten so big. And because alts have been suppressed for so long. Which coins? You know, I think like usual, it's probably going to be, you know, some coins you've never heard of. A lot of them which you've never heard of. I think some of the good ones, like for example Solana that everybody loves, will continue to go up. I think the obvious ones like Ethereum will continue to go up. I think, you know, some of the majors are going to be, you know, fairly safe bets. And a lot of the really, really big gainers are going to be coins that you've never heard of. That's my take there. That is my take there. Alt season ways to go still, I agree. I think it's still quite far out. I'm still super happy to be positioned in Bitcoin the way I am. We're seeing a small pullback for Bitcoin right now. That pump didn't materialize, and we've continued to slide down for Bitcoin here. From our high at 70,400 down to a low so far of 69,200. Ethereum pulling back in accordance, but not as bad. Ethereum's down by about 3%. Bitcoin by 1.8. So Bitcoin is down by less. But Bitcoin is a much bigger market. So I think Ethereum is still holding up pretty well, considering that. Ladies and gents, let me know if you've got any final questions. I'll probably be calling it relatively soon. If you have enjoyed this one, you know exactly what to do. Hit up the likes, subscribe, tick the bell, do all of that good stuff. Any thoughts on one last dip to flush all the leverage? Well, dude, we're at resistance, and resistance is where rejections happen. A lot of people really struggle to digest that idea. That's their problem. That will be at their own peril. Resistance is where rejections happen. By the way, here's the target I was mentioning at 76. This is just simply the height of our descending triangle. You can use that to extrapolate a target. And that's what I've done here for a 76k target. So, you know, this is all a resistance zone. You know, really, in fairness, I could certainly draw this down all the way to like here. And that would be totally fair in my opinion. You know, and if that is the case, I definitely think that, you know, if you're expecting resistance here, that would actually make a lot of sense. And it would be super healthy for the market. If it does end up happening, like I said, beautiful support down at 63k. What a flush that would be. Falling down to 63k would still keep us mega bullish in my opinion. 67k, of course, the easiest, happiest level to fall down to on this chart. The most digestible level to fall down to. It's so close. There's 4-hour EMA support there. There's 4-hour Ichimoku support there. There's probably 1-hour Ichimoku support there. Let's take a look. Yep, there's 1-hour Ichimoku support there if it happens very shortly from now. On the daily time frame, we've got the daily Ichimoku continuing to look incredibly strong for Bitcoin here as well. The daily EMA ribbon flipped back bullish here. You know, there's just so much going in Bitcoin's favor right now that I think it's got some really nice setups up ahead for itself here. So that is super, super exciting. Ladies and gents, I'm going to catch you all again in my next live stream on this YouTube channel, which will probably be tomorrow, especially if we keep this kind of price action up. I'm going to continue to give you guys updates on the kind of positions I'm looking at, what I want to trade, what I'm seeing on different coins as well. If you want to get that stuff, make sure that you do subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you don't miss out on any of it. And like I said, ladies and gents, these beautiful profits pulled off over here on Bitcoin done right here on Bybit with the link below. That's my Bitcoin trade right there at 2,200%. Still got 33K unrealized, 200K realized. I only put 100K in there, so that's a super impressive trade. And here is another one on Tron. Again, these are, of course, live trades. You know, I'm not going to close it now because that would be quite bad. But, you know, just showing that I can interact with the app, you know, just because sometimes there are some people thinking this is too good to be true. It's not. I am just a principled trader, so it's actually exactly what you would expect. If you want to trade on the same platforms I'm using, you can check it out with these links on screen here. You're going to get up to $30,000 for free on Bybit when you deposit and start trading using my link below. This is a KYC platform, but BingX is a nearly no KYC platform, and 2bit is a completely no KYC platform. So super, super great opportunities to be taking advantage of. You're getting a lot of free money. I am no longer moving. I feel a little bit dizzy, which is weird. I always feel dizzy when I get off this treadmill. I've only done it twice so far, but it happened. Well, I've gotten off it 3 times. This was my 4th recording of the day, so thank you all for tuning in for this one. I am a little bit burnt out now. I'm ready to take a little break, but I do appreciate you all for tuning in. Definitely make sure you do smash up those likes, subscribe on your way out, tick the bell so you don't miss out on this time-sensitive content. Really, really nice price action here. I'm going to be right back with you guys as this continues to develop. I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.